Hey everyone, and welcome back to Woodshop Junkies. After about 2 weeks, I finally got some time available or freed up some time to continue work on my all-in-one workstation. So today I'm going to add my Shop-Vac dust collector system to the bench. Okay guys, so the objective in this video is to add my Shop-Vac with a dust collection bucket in this cavity I've allowed behind the table saw. From there I need to divert the suction to all the tools that are going to be making use of the dust collector, the table saw, and also add a port at the top that can be shared between all the tools that are going to be used on the top of the bench. Now, as for my dust collector system, it basically consists out of my Shop-Vac and my makeshift cyclone dust collector. The Shop-Vac I bought specifically when I was planning this bench for its auto start function, which means if I power my power tools from this port, the Shop-Vac will automatically start up when I power up the tool. This is perfect for what I want to do because I'm going to install it inside the bench and add a door, which means when I power up the tool, the Shop-Vac will start up automatically. I wouldn't have to open and close the door the whole time to switch on this Shop-Vac. If I didn't have a vacuum with an auto start function, I would have just opted for a simple auto start switch, which is generally not too expensive and pretty much does the same as this does built into the Shop-Vac. If you want more info on auto start switches, I will be adding a link with a bit more information to this video if you want to check it out. Then as for the cyclone dust collector, simple enough. I think most people know how they work. But it basically consists of a bucket with an inlet port and an outlet port. The outlet port obviously connects to the vacuum cleaner and is in the center of the lid because you want it sucking up from the center. The inlet is basically directed or directs the debris or the dust in a circular motion around the outside, splitting it from the airflow, and the clean air will get sucked up into the vacuum cleaner. It's simple enough. Just drill these holes and attach the PVC pipe, glue them in place, and I will demonstrate the operation for you now. As you can see, the idea works. Now just to add it to the bench and divert the pipes to all the equipment that's going to be using it. Just to keep in mind, mistake that I made, I didn't keep in the suction power of the Shop-Vac in mind, and my original cyclone dust collector, I used a bucket that was a bit softer than this one, and the result was not so satisfying. So I had to go out and get a bucket with a thicker wall that won't suck in, but I'm pretty sure if the pipe had to block, this one will pull in as well. So maybe at some stage I'll add some bracing around it or something to keep it open. But before I go on, just a quick announcement. Our US storefront with 11 woodworking themed t-shirt designs is officially live. If you've already stopped by and checked it out, thank you so much for the support. If you haven't yet and you would like to know what it's about, I will drop a link below. We are still working on a UK storefront and maybe one for back home, so you know, watch out for that. Okay, so step one to adding my dust collector system to my bench here is adding the base, cutting the door. I'll add the door last, and then adding the pipes. Okay guys, so everything seems to fit the way it was intended. The cyclone collector is at the back there and the Shop-Vac in the front. The reason I did it like this, I think I'm going to be using this more than I'm going to have to empty dust collector, so I put this in the front so I can take it out when I need it. The cord is long enough so I'll be able to reach everywhere in my shop. So everything fits. I'm going to be taking it out now again so I can put all the pipes in. Some of the piping is going to roll over to the planer's cavity here at the back where it's open. And once all the pipes installed, I can quickly do the power layout, put the dust vac or the cyclone collector and the Shop-Vac back again, and then test it. Okay, so my plan is to use this pipe, have it loaded up at the back of the planer here, and have it exiting the center, or more or less in the center of the bench. That will allow me to pull it out and attach it to the above the bench tools that needs it. The miter saw, the router table, hopefully when I change out my planer, the planer, and any loose hand power tool I use in the bench area here. So the pipe will then come from the cavity behind the planer over to where the dust collection is. The other port will be connected to the table saw. Okay guys, so before I get carried away, I just quickly want to explain what's going on. The pipe I installed now that runs from out here all the way to the planer cavity is going to be connected to this black pipe, and the black pipe is going to be loaded up behind the planer. I'm going to cut a hole in the top and I'm going to be able to feed it out and connect it to any piece of equipment that I want the dust collector to be connected to on top of the bench. I'm also going to install a pipe like this to the table saw, bring it outside here, and also the one from the dust collector, bring it outside as well. Then I can only use, or I can simply use a jumper to direct the airflow to either from the table saw or from the top of the bench. I just figured it's a bit simpler than building complicated blast gates and using valves or whatever the case may be. So this pipe I just put in here now is just a placeholder allowing the glue to cure properly, and in the meantime I'll be installing the pipes to the table saw and then just a piece of pipe that's going to be connected to the dust collector as well. So for the pipe for the table saw I'm using this, obviously bringing it till here and taking it out. It needs to be flexible because I need to be able to change the blade angle. And I'm pretty much just using whatever I can get my hands on to join these things, because it's really hard to match up all the sizes, and with arrangement or using PVC weld to weld this stuff together and just adding silicone just to make sure it's sealed properly. So, you know, I'm just trying to make it work. Okay guys, so now I've got all the fixed pipes installed. The only one I still need to finish up is this black hose that's going to go out to the top of the bench, and then I've got all my ports on the outside here where I can get to it. The middle one is the one that's going to the dust collector, which is the suction. Bottom is the table saw, top is for the top of the bench. this is my jumper, which I'm going to be able to select where I want my dust collector to work, and everything is pretty much solid and airtight. I glued everything together, but obviously here I can't add glue because I'm going to have to change it, so I've got O-rings, which I'm pretty much just going to be glued. At this stage I only have 2, so I'm going to have to change them, but when I get more I'll glue them in here just for a better airtight seal. So there I'll be sending using the dust collector with the table saw, and when I change it to this, it will be on the top of the bench. Okay, so my next step is sorting out this black hose. Basically what I want to do is have this loaded up underneath the bench, cut a hole in the top there, and when I need it I can just pull this hose out, connect it to the tool I want to use it with, and afterwards I can put it back. So all I need to do is make a bracket that's going to hold this underneath the bench in place and cut a hole in the top. Okay guys, so I made the hole here the same size as this ring here on the pipe, and as usual trimmed it with a router. This pipe is now going to be loaded up on the underside of the bench like this, so I can pull it out and attach it to whatever tool I need to use it with. On the underside here I'm going to attach this cradle, which is pretty much going to keep the pipe in place for when I need it, and I can just pull it out. This doesn't look amazing, it doesn't need to. Just this is going to go there to keep the pipe in place. Cut this with a hole saw and remove this parts with a jigsaw, and then just attach this little piece here so I can fix it to the inside of the bench, or the underside of the bench. Okay guys, so with all the pipes installed in their places, I can put the dust collector and the Shop-Vac in their place, just quickly sort out the power, and then I can test it. Alright guys, so I really hope you guys are able to see in this little space what I was doing, because the light is a bit limited. But basically what I did, I've got a little extension cord running from here to that side with 2 ports, sockets, one for the table saw, one for the miter saw. This will now be plugged into the Shop-Vac, which means either the table saw or the miter saw can trigger the Shop-Vac to start up. This is temporary because obviously I want my router table, planer, and an additional socket for a hand power tool as well. So I will do that when I do the finishing up video for the bench, where I will do all the electrical layout for the bench. But at this stage I've only got this little cord running over there. Then I'm bringing my miter saw's power through from the cavity on the underside there, and the table saw also through, and it's plugged in over there. Also what I'm going to do is I'm taking the Shop-Vac's power also through the hole that's running to the miter saw cavity, and then from there I will be powering the miter saw. So yeah, now I'm going to put everything in its place and I can start it up. Okay guys, so with everything installed and in its place as it should be, with the exception of the door I still would like to add, I'm basically ready to test it. The idea is that I can force the vacuum cleaner on or switch it on and have this pipe reach pretty much everywhere on my bench. Alternatively, I can take the Shop-Vac out and reach pretty much everywhere in my shop because the extension cord is long enough. Then if I switch it to automatic, which is the ideal situation, I would only prefer to have it on its on when I take it out and use it other places in the shop. But if I have it in its automatic position, I can pretty much take this pipe out, connect it to any tool on the bench, and the Shop-Vac will start up automatically when the tool is used. So the miter saw, tools like this, when the router table gets installed, and hopefully when I get a new planer. All of that will be powered from that point, causing the Shop-Vac to start up automatically. So without messing around too much, I'm going to test it. Okay guys, so with the dust collector in, there's only one more addition I need to make to the bench, which is my router table. I'm going to be very happy to finally finish up my all-in-one woodworking workstation. So with that, it's time to clean up and set up for the next installation. If you'd like to see that, remember to subscribe. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Cheers!